Okay, so here we are. This part of the stuff is out in the open. The other one is they just haven't said it yet, at least not completely. So, Mike, go ahead and read a synopsis about the Ava's taking on Beetlejuice.
This is episode 16, called "The Sickness Unto Death," and then, or I guess the other title is "Splitting of the Breast." Wow.
Yeah.
A new and extremely bizarre angel, Leliel, appears in the sky over Tokyo 3. Apparently a black and white sphere. All three Evangelions move in to attack, but Shinji's attack is useless. And he, along with Unit 1, are absorbed into a growing shadow that has engulfed the city. Ritsuko determines that Leliel exists on a higher dimension of existence, which can only be explained by mathematical concepts. The shadow on the ground, described as being 600 meters wide but only 3 nanometers thick, is the actual body of the angel, and the sphere in the sky is its true shadow. Fearing that Unit 1 has been completely lost, Nier prepares to drop all of its remaining N2 bombs into the angel, hoping that it'll destroy Leliel, even though it could easily kill Shinji as well. While trapped in Leliel, Shinji goes on an introspective mental journey. As the battery power completely drains and life support runs out in Unit 1, Shinji suddenly feels a ghostly woman embracing him, and he realizes that she is his mother. Outside Leliel, Misato and Ritsuko witness Unit 1 violently tear its way out of Leliel's shadow, thereby killing the angel. Shinji is recovered alive and well, but his experiences inside the angel have left him deeply unsettled. So this is probably one of the first times where I can actually say I don't really like Ritsuko anymore.
Mm-hmm. First off, I actually did like this episode. So whatever I am about to criticize, I liked the overall episode. It felt like what the 4th episode should have been. Yeah. Like, if you're going to be experimental, make it interesting.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Second, I remember this angel. I remember from the previews that I would see, and I remember seeing bits and pieces of it this episode once. I forgot exactly what happened, but I do kind of find it amusing that it's just like the angels will go from like microscopic to these humanoid things to just ball. No, this one was interesting. Like, I'm starting to kind of get like the writing is starting to finally kind of reveal itself a little about just how damaged everyone is and what exactly everyone knows.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I get there is something up with Asuka, and I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop about what exactly is up with her backstory. But this might be her at her worst, at least for right now.
For now, at least.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, granted, I still love and he's the Uberman. But
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. But it's like, it was interesting to see stuff like Ray actually kind of stand up for Shinji, just being like, hey, Asuka, just zip the lip. And then I liked some of the little touches, like with Shinji, who was essentially, I think, talking to the angel, and the angel is talking back. At least that's what I kind of got from it.
Kind of what it seemed like, yeah.
I liked seeing the little detail, like the artsy details of like the horizontal line was the angel talking, the vertical line was Shinji talking, and just kind of diving more into the psychosis of Shinji. Because, yes, it is a little much to be calling him a wet blanket. That he's just always like, man, I don't like to do this. But I get it. It's like, okay, show, I get it. I get exactly, like, he just wants to be okay. He just wants to live and be okay. And it's like this world is constantly telling him, like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mike, I have to ask you something.
Okay.
This is personal opinion. That's actually two questions I have to ask you. But I have to say, were you we got to see Ugly Face at the beginning of the show when the Ava's helmet cracked open, and then you got to see David. Were you fully aware in your head? You just didn't say it yet that those were the Ava's clones, kind of, or like
I needed a little bit more confirmation, but damn, just damn.
Yeah, and I have to ask now that we're all in the room together, and I forgot just how much they thought that they didn't think people were going to pay attention because this was on a kid's show, and they wouldn't realize the really out in the open details that they just went in these last two episodes. But so we found out that the mom is dead.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't find out that they have Ray in a tube in the basement and she has brown hair.
Yep.
We found out that
they have an angel.
we have to all get there, and the angel's there too, but that's not the through line that I'm going through with this. That Ray's angel smells like his mom. That Ray cleans up like a mom. And we've now seen the picture in the newspaper about the article where they believe Gendo killed his mother, and she has short brown hair.
I see where you're going with this.
I made a passive aggressive joke about like what exactly every anime that wanted to be like Evangelion was just like, why do I have to fight? Why do the angels want to fight us? Why does that girl look like my mom? And then it's like it kind of hit me. It's like, oh,
yeah. We're gonna hear more about that. But oh boy, do they not care about subtlety anymore? And we like
that explains why Gendo is why he and Ray have a very special relationship.
And why Ray likes to not be Ray doesn't know how to bitch someone out, so I'm not going to say bitch out, but I would say be concerned at a person who is making fun of Shinji. And also that that's actually kind of what I was just basically to get out of that. But yeah, so we're waiting for a shoe to drop on what that situation actually is, and we still have a shoe to drop on more stuff about Ava Unit 1 because it's still more important than the other Avas, despite the fact that they're all quote unquote just copies of other angels, or the first angel, I should say. But yet Unit 1 is infinitesimally more important.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that thing was able to burst out of the angel without having a power source connected to it, so there's that thing.
And yet again, we said this in the first episode. The Ava scream is one of my favorite sounds ever to be committed to anything. That howl is
better than the Godzilla scream.
Ooh, it's up there.
There are a few iconic screams. You got the Godzilla roar. You got the Ultraman like, "Hah!" And then you got the Evangelion roar. I'm gonna have
to wait. I really like that Ava scream because, like, I get Godzilla is really powerful, but one thing I appreciate about the Ava scream is that it's not just powerful; it's feral.
Yeah,
like that is a wild animal.
Yeah,
yeah. So, yeah, it's got their own tastes, and it didn't downgrade in quality with the new dub. I don't even know if it's the same one because I'm not trying to track down the old dub, but it's still good.
Yeah, no. I will say, did the quality of the look of the animation look a little off? Not like it was all like janky or whatever. Like it was still pretty. Like the animation overall was pretty good.
I think the picture quality was a little bit grainy compared to some of the previous episodes.
because I've seen that happen sometimes. Like if you look at old OVAs like Mad Bull 34, there's like an obvious difference of like graininess to like a certain set of episodes. And I don't know, something was off like visually on that episode because otherwise like it looked good. Like
Yeah.
It was only like the first couple minutes where I really started to notice, but once like the episode progressed, it barely even fazed me.
Oh yeah.
And again, there's other trickery that they have to do because again, we've joked about it a lot. Gainax doesn't know how to handle a budget to save their own asses. So if that is what reasoning for why that might be, for why things are not as pretty sometimes as what they used to look, or like the animation's not bad. It's just that like there's weird stuff. But yeah, like you said, that the angels are always also different. One thing that is kind of, I don't know if you guys feel this way. Most TV shows, in my opinion, they kind of come up with a cool monster and then they have and then they just have like cool monster first, and then how the heroes are going to deal with it is second. At least that's how I've watched most shows. Yeah. Ava to me is one of if not the only one where they're like, all right, we want to do this in this episode. Cool. We'll make the Ava do this so we can solidify, or so we can facilitate how we're going to get there. We need to have Shinji have a one-on-one talk with an angel. Let's make one that can suck him into the ground so he's inside it.
Okay, so how did this angel exactly get there? Like, because it was apparently, even though that thing is just like huge, how was it able to get there without like setting off any alarms? Did it come through the ground? Or because I mean, I guess that's what it kind of looked like, but
that's kind of what they said, because they said Mount Fuji never saw anything. And then at their first opinion, well, their sensors on Mount Fuji, it said it appeared above them. So what I kind of gathered was that the shadow's the thing above, the real thing's below. So until a certain point, it never cast it. So it was kind of just like free trailing on the ground and never appeared.
That makes sense.
I think
maybe I'm just getting nitpicky and such, but if this angel could do that, couldn't it have just gone below? Because every other angel is wanting to get to the 8 nerve HQ.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I know.
All the angels are they do things their own unique way.
They do their own thing. It is true, because again, like one just randomly decided to have an embryo inside a volcano.
Yeah.
Just cause.
And it's all the, like I said, plot's not important with these. They're like, we need to have this, so let's make the angel do random thing.
I'm still kind of amused by the fact that the weapons that the Avas hold are still like stylistically kind of against exactly, like, because the Avas have these cool slick humanoid designs, but they still made like a huge handgun basically.
Yeah. That is true. And it also, I always laugh, and it's not meant to be, but it's like, all right, we're going to sneak up on the enemy and pull cover behind these buildings. We are 400 feet tall, but no one's going to notice that we're here.
I think that was especially funny in this episode. When it's Shinji being like, all right, I'm going to be the cool guy.
Yeah, exactly. That and Asuka, where they're openly showing that they're cruising around buildings, and Asuka goes, tink!
Yeah.
Well, shit. She sees her cables tinkled.
I do love that, like, half the buildings are just supposedly different link cable. Like, they're basically like a power hose or whatever. Like,
if they're going to have this rule where they have to be plugged into these things, it would be smart to have like just randomly 12 dummy buildings that are cable bouncing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, and again, plot doesn't really matter. It's all about like what exactly the kind of story or story beat they want to tell. What happened to all the buildings that sunk into the shadow? Because then it's like, first of all, cool visual, even though that's probably some cost-effective shenanigans right there of just making the whole ground black with the buildings kind of tipping over and whatnot. But it's like, did those like go like back to being straight or something? Or
I think that this episode was operating on Power Rangers rules, where every episode, like Angel Grove would be gone after 5 episodes if they actually kept the amount of damaged buildings that were there. Gekko's contractors are really fast.
No, it's just funny, and then I guess we're at a point where that Diamond Angel that they shot down, what 10 episodes now?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about the diamond one.
Yep.
Yeah, so that like that one's so I guess they finished taking that one apart or whatever they needed to do. But I can't really get over Asuka again. Just like I get there is something to her being this showboaty and like forward with how she's like, I'm the best. I'm doing it to get the appreciation from me and whatnot. But she basically told Shinji just like, well, why don't you do it, Mr. I'm so perfect?
Yeah.
And got him into that situation. And I don't think there was enough, or maybe I don't know, maybe I missed it or something, of her feeling like, well, criminy, I got him into this trouble. I feel bad. But
you
no,
you don't get blamed for it. Masoto.
Yeah, and it's just like,
like
no,
what?
because you're
Yeah,
coddling him.
how is any of this hurt? Well, like the only explanation that I can think of is she's his guardian, but
Yeah.
that can only mean so much.
Right. No, I mean, I really liked really a lot of what I have to say is just the whole going into Shinji's mind and just like his internal struggle with this whole thing, because like it's finally like we're finally going to dive into it. But golly, though, that scene with the angel just coming right out of that, I mean, the Ava coming right out of the angel, just ripping it apart.
For 96 animate for 90s, was it 96?
96 or 97, I think.
96 or 97. That was damn impressive.
This is 96, and
that was damn impressive.
No, it's just like that's a lot of detail. And those, I mean, like angels. I mean, Avas are kind of easier in design in some ways than like I would say like a Gundam or like the super robot stuff that Go Nagai does. But it's like that was impressive, and it's a very cool image, and I'm sure there's some symbolic imagery of him coming out of I guess like an egg or something with coming of the orb and what have you. I guess there are some ways you can take it about that, but yeah, can't get over how there's obviously something going on. Everyone's hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
After I seen this episode, there's stuff that happens inside of Darling in the Franxx that I cannot wait to watch that show with you two.
Oh, I'm excited for the conclusion of the mech trilogy.
The mecha trifecta. That is going to be the weirdest review I've ever done with people, because both of you will have seen and been refreshed on Neon Genesis and Gurren. And man, I cannot describe a show more accurately as the just you threw them all in a blender and made it look really pretty. But man, it is just those two shows in the same show.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Right. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, because like there's gonna be straight up segments when we do that I'm gonna ask you guys if anything seems familiar, like every episode. So
it's gonna be like it's gonna be like one of those bad parody anime.
Well, it's not
like comedy. No, I mean I know. It's just it's just gonna be like it's like when those comedy anime that try to be like oh gosh dang it, I forgot what it was called. XL Saga. And it's just like, oh, they did this, so we gotta do this, and it's like, no, that's not exact. Like, say what you will about Evangelion as a franchise as a whole, at least there's a cohesiveness to a degree of what they do and how they did it, and it just makes like, it's like, oh yeah, those other ones that were trying to be like Ava, like it's like, man, Evangelion made this look easy.
Yeah, it was one of the ones that put it up there, and it was definitely a bit of a trailblazer. And yeah, it would just be weird. I would love to see what would happen if they made like give or take if some other show was influential back then, if like Evangelion was made nowadays, what themes they would have tried to do to drive across the stuff they were doing.
Mhm.
Like if they would have chose religion and like all of that. And
I think if Ava was made today, they might have leaned a little bit more on the mental health side and
Probably.
tried
Yeah.
to veer away from the religion.
Yeah, because so far it's really starting to hit that they're just like, well, this iconography looked cool, so we put it in. I mean, we bring this up every other episode. They brought it in. It looks cool. It gets brought over to the US. They don't realize exactly what they're using. So, but whatever. That's a lot.
That's another thing for another time. But all right, Mike. So how's the flight feeling?
This is it's a pretty bumpy ride right now. I will say as on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being Shinji, you're just the fucking worst, to 10 being, oh my god, you're amazing. This episode was like Shinji at a 7.5. I think the stuff with him inside the Angel and confronting his like inner self is some of the best writing for this character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like this is the episode that we all kind of collectively refer to as the point of no return. So once you make it past this episode, you're in for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. I don't know. It's a lot more interesting of an episode, and I like the animation. I liked the action. I just some technical issues and like Asuka not really saying like I don't know. It's like I don't need characters to say like, "Oh man, I did a bad thing," but I need Asuka to take it from a 10 to like a 4.
Yeah.
What Asuka just needs to take responsibility for being on a team.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that they showed her showing up at the hospital room, even though she tried to let Shinji not know that she was there.
Oh yeah, that part was funny.
That is a very good touch. So
there are good story beats to this. It's like Rei is finally kind of sort of now becoming more, I guess, connected with Shinji. No, though more ways than one, apparently. Oh lordy. But I liked seeing Asuka kind of show up at the end. Like that was very cute. So yeah. What are you hiding, Shinji's dad?
We'll see. But we have to take a short detour before we get there because fourth child's coming up.
Yay.
Oh boy.
Can I say something that it's a totally Japanese way of saying it, but it drives me nuts that they do not say child, but they say children when it's a single child.
Yeah, what the hell?
That drives me insane every time I hear it. It's a total Japanese thing of that. It's said that way because it was made in Japan, but I hate that. I hate it every time it's said. It drives me more insane. I'm just like, just call him a child.
No,
yeah. But all right. So, Cameron,
yeah,
where everybody find you?
Well, hopefully not in that Dirac C thing. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/CamsEyeView. I am the co-host of the Renegade Animation podcast on renegadeanimation.com. I have my own website called camseyeview.biz where I review animated films from around the world called The Other Side of Animation. And then I have a Patreon at patreon.com/CamsEyeView. If you like my work, you can support me there.
All right. And Mike, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at CaptainK42. You can check out my quick thought reviews on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. Find me in all the various Facebook groups just at my name. You can check out Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. You can listen to all our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. And everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
This is going to be the most unintelligible, just weird, out of the place thing ever. But I was editing a fresh take that is going to go up today, and it did. And because it's Passover and we were doing Mike's favorite movie, The Prince of Egypt. And I was listening through it, and at the very end of it, I predicted that I was going to be streaming Outriders, and Outriders comes out next weekend. So I was off by 1 week when we recorded all those things ahead of time. I'm very proud of myself. But all right, yeah, you could find me at Organoid Zero on everything, YouTube, Twitch, which, again, this will make no sense to people watching this now because it'll be long since then, but I'll just be streaming. So, yeah, that's where you can find me. We will see you guys next time.